moved back to Bloomington, Indiana, and I bought a little car, a Honda Civic. It was one of the ugliest cars ever on the planet. The car had great big rust holes and spots all over it. My daughter refused to ride in the car until I put a great big label that said "Acid Rain Test Car." I was looking around for different kinds of employment. I was employed by the City of Bloomington as the city's point person for the Growth Policies Plan and Senior Long-Range Planner. I initiated the Cooperative Association of all the neighborhood associations, which later became known as the Neighborhood Association called CONA. I wrote several sections of the published final plan, including the environmental and population projection section. When the final Growth Policies Plan was adopted, it was approved with little change or debate. After the plan, I set out to improve my credentials as a practicing urban planner. My career in professional geography had prepared me very well to switch to the field of urban planning. I took the 4-hour AICP planning exam and passed. This difficult exam gave me the new letters AICP behind my name. During the time I was employed by the City of Bloomington, I taught night university geography classes at IUPUI Columbus. Over time, I continued to teach classes in physical and human geography, plus classes in weather and man, world geography, North America, conservation, and the geography of Indiana. My collective university geography teaching career spanned close to 30 years. I must have set some kind of record teaching over 11 kinds of geography to over 3,000 students. My residential situation while I was employed in the City of Bloomington included a place I really enjoyed, a rustic cabin located in the woods above Lake Griffey. I met a jolly fellow named John Sisson. And Sisson was considered kind of a legend, and he had a stream of friends that came with him. Little did I know that he would organize and plan large campfire parties on short notice. These famous parties included dozens of fascinating stories, belly dancers, concert singers, musicians, and various woodland clowns. I had met a wonderful lady named Dorothy at a local drumming session. She followed a New Age star. She was one of the most interesting persons I'd ever met. Dorothy and I moved to a home overlooking Lake Monroe. It had 20 windows the size of a door overlooking the lake, and we could see bald eagles fly right past the windows every morning. I became very interested in a discipline called Feng Shui, or Black Hat Feng Shui. I developed a website and a business called Lotus Tuan Feng Shui Institute and began to take students after taking several classes from Sean Zenja and David Kennedy. Some noteworthy crowds came for my presentations, including over 200 people at the Indianapolis Public Library, also at Ball State University, and then I conducted workshops in Indiana, Ohio, Mississippi, and North Carolina. I was fortunate and blessed to attend 2 national conventions, one in Palm Springs, California, the other in Orlando, Florida. During my time living with Dorothy at Lake Monroe, we attended the Native American Sioux Sundance, held south of Story, Indiana, in southern Brown County. The Sundance went on for almost a week. The ceremony was considered very spiritual. Young men would be subject to being pierced through their chests on a long rope and dance in the sunlight. One of the most interesting things that I saw was the ghost dance, a crowd of about 100 people dancing in the new moonlight, and if you stared hard enough into the group, glimpses of ghosts began to magically materialize. Another experience I had was doing the Lakota sweat. We entered the teepee, moving then to the left. Inside was a central fire, and it was so hot. You had to lay close to the ground. The Native American Lakota would start chanting, and with the rhythm of the chant, I began to feel like I was flying. I saw eagles flying beside me. I looked down upon Mother Earth far below, and all I saw were a carpet of treetops. For days, I picked crusty, burnt eyebrows. Then I closed my eyes in a successful return to my sacred eagle flight. It was during this time, and for a few years after, I submitted at least 10 800-word-length articles to alternative magazines, including Branches magazine located in Indianapolis. Such topics included geopiety, becoming one with the environment, Feng Shui for the home, simple living isn't so simple, and a story called Enlightened Suburbs. I also, for several years, taught multiple workshops at the Simple Living Fair in Bloomington. The Simple Living Fair was sponsored by a successful organization called the Center for Sustainable Living, which I actually helped form. Upon being hired away from Bloomington by Brown County, I became the planning director in charge of the Board of Zoning Appeals and also the Planning Commission. We had over 120 cases each year. It was my duty to try to reduce the number of cases, which I did by 60% the very first year. I developed what I called an options choice, which aimed to slightly change the initial client's request. Often the result was found in a simple rewrite of the zoning regulations. It was also during this time I became an active member of the Brown County Rotary Club. The Rotary Club is the largest international service club and the oldest. My role in Rotary Club was a board member, vice president, and president-elect.